IELTS listening lesson. Lesson 1. We are going to discuss the test overview for a listening test. The listening test will take you 30 minutes, and you will have an extra 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. The task requirement is you will have to listen to 4 recordings of native English speakers. Then you are required to write your answers to a series of questions on your question paper. After the end of the test, you would have 10 minutes to transfer your answers from the question paper onto your answer sheet. Special requirements or arrangements can be made for test takers with disabilities. During your registration for the IELTS test, please do indicate if you have any disabilities. You should understand that not all disabilities are visible. Assessors will be looking for evidence of your ability to understand the main ideas and detailed factual information, the opinions and attitude of speakers, the purpose of an utterance, and evidence of your ability to follow ideas. Some key instruction to test takers you need to know. In the actual test, you will be given the following instructions. You do not have to open the question paper until you are told to do so. And you need to provide your personal details, which is name, your candidate number, in the spaces provided. You need to listen to the instructions for each part carefully. You need to answer all questions. Do not leave your answer booklet blank. Do not leave any question unattended to. You do not lose marks for any wrong answers. Therefore, try to predict answers even though if you are not sure. While you are listening, write your answers on the question paper as quickly as possible. Then when you are done at the end of the test, you would have an extra 10 minutes to transfer or to copy your answers onto a separate answer booklet. Use a pencil whilst doing this. At the end of the test, please hand in your question paper. On your screen is IELTS listening answer booklet. We have candidate name, where you are required to write your name, and the candidate number, and the center number, the date and year when you're taking this test. These details will be provided to you at the center. I mentioned in one of my videos that the listening and the reading answer sheet are on the same paper, front and back. Hence, the answer sheet for both listening and reading are on the same piece of paper. Ensure to have your answers written at the respective part. Make sure when you are transferring your listening answers, you transfer it to the right listening part. Test format. There are 4 parts with 10 questions each. This will give you a total of 40 questions. Each question would carry 1 mark. If you need a band 7 or better, you need not to get less than 30 out of 40. The questions are designed so that the answers appear in the order they are heard in the audio. This would make it easier for you to follow the conversation. The recordings are heard only once, so you need to answer as you listen. The audio includes a range of accents, including the British, Australian, New Zealand, American, and Canadian accents. In my course, I have several podcasts in the listening lessons, which I encourage you to listen to them daily to increase your receptive ability to recognize what these accents are and for you to be able to understand what they are saying. I also encourage you to listen to radio like BBC, World Television, or news channel like CNN, Al Jazeera, and listen more to native speakers. Listening is an active skill, so it needs practice to develop. I made mention of 4 parts in the listening test. What are the test formats? So you would be hearing 4 recordings, and the recording 1 is a conversation between 2 people set in everyday social context. For example, it can be a phone call from an individual trying to book an appointment. A recording 2 is always a monologue set in an everyday social context. Example is a speech about a local facility. It can be a speech from the human resource manager of a hospital to new employees. Recording 3 is a conversation between up to 4 people in an educational or training context. Example is a university tutor and a student discussing an assignment. And lastly, the recording 4, also a monologue in an academic context. It can be a university lecture, it can be a seminar. A couple of changes or modifications were made to the IELTS exams. That was after the 4th of January 2020. The word session was changed to parts. So initially or previously, there were 4 sections to the listening test, but now it's parts 1, 2, 3, and 4. Also, at the beginning of the listening test, there used to be an example for each test. Currently, this example has been taken off, so you get into the game straight. The page reference has also been removed. Do not be perturbed. All I need you to understand is the content of the test remains unchanged. Task types. In this session, I'll be telling you about the kind of questions you'll be meeting in the listening test. These are not fixed, as you can get any number of questions from different types. A variety of question types are used. They are chosen from the following: multiple choice questions. So in a multiple choice task, there is a question followed by 3 possible answers, A to C. The focus is the test taker may be required to have detailed understanding of the specific points or an overall understanding of the main points in the listening audio. A group of questions you can come across is matching. Here, the test takers are required to match a numbered list of items from the listening text to a set of options on the question paper. So you can see set of options A to G. We have food, water, cameras, books, bags, pens, and worksheets. You need to select the right answers based on the items mentioned in the listening text. If the answer, for example, is food, books, and pens, then all you need to write or on the question paper is just the alphabet. In with the marking scheme, you can write them in any order. However, I recommend you write them in alphabetical order. So if you probably the first thing you might identify was pens, books, and then food. So you might be writing FCA. But when you are transferring onto the answer booklet, you should write them in alphabetical order. Another category of questions are plan, maps, diagram, labeling. You'll be given a diagram, a map, or a plan. And then the task requirement is for you to label. So test takers are required to complete labels on a plan. It can be of a building, a map of a town, or a diagram, for example, a piece of equipment. The answers are usually selected from a list or a question paper. So we have an agriculture pack here on your screen, and the instruction is write no more than 2 words for each answer. You really would have to pay attention to the instruction. And then you need to listen to the audio and label your diagram. I mentioned earlier that answers are in order in the listening text. Therefore, you need to start from question 12 to 13 and then 14. A key skill to getting this kind of questions correct, because it can be challenging, is always to recognize the starting point and then go with the audio. A form, note, table, flowchart, or summary completion. You can see on your screen that we have a form. This would always come with an instruction to either write no more than 2 words and or a number. You need to follow the instruction. Test takers are required to fill in the gaps in an outline by listening to the listening text. The form will require you to give factual details like names, address. A flowchart would summarize a process which has clear stages. You need to be very careful as the number of words or numbers are always stated. You will be penalized for writing more than the stated number of words. And the test taker should always check for word limits. Hyphenated words are counted as single words. For example, if you have one cell tick, these will be counted as 2 words because hyphenated words would always count as 1. So for this instruction, write no more than 2 words on a number, meaning you are not allowed to write more than 2 words and a number. So you can write Monday, 5th February. So these are 2 words and a number. Do you get the concept? So you can also write a number. So for example, your telephone number should be 054 345 3435. This is counted as just a number. You don't count the individual unit. So this can allow you to write a telephone number of the individual without being penalized. We have sentence completion and short answer questions. So short answer questions and sentence completion would also come with an instruction to either write more than 3 words and or a number, write 1 word only. So you always need to focus on the instruction. Here, you are going to complete a sentence like trying to get the address to this place. And you'll be given short answers like date of arrival. So date of arrival can be 3rd of May 2023. This is an overview of IELTS Listen, and this should give you a deeper understanding of what is required of you on the test day.